Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into a really complex, often overlooked chapter of history, the story of the Circassian people, and the century-long struggle that completely changed their world forever.
Now, you might be wondering, where exactly is Circassia? Well, if you look at a modern globe or map today, you literally won't find it. It's entirely absent. But historically, this was a real, massive nation located right in the northwestern Caucasus, stretching along the northeastern shores of the Black Sea.
Okay, let's dive into our roadmap for this explainer. We'll be looking at 1. A forgotten nation. 2. The fall of Kubata. 3. The Circassian Genocide. 4. The Great Exodus. 5. Struggle for identity. And finally, 6. The fight for recognition.
So, starting with Section 1, A Forgotten Nation.
To really grasp the scale of what was lost here, we have to look back to the 18th century. Back then, Circassia wasn't just some small, obscure territory. It spanned a massive 55,000 square kilometers. To put that into perspective, that's actually larger than the entire country of Denmark. It was a thriving region, home to an indigenous population of over 2 million people. But as the Russian Empire began relentlessly expanding its borders southward, this massive nation stood directly in their path, sparking a brutal conflict.
Moving on to Section 2, the fall of Kubata. Let's see how this all builds up to a breaking point. The Russo-Circassian War actually began way back in 1763. But things really escalated by 1860 when General Yevdokimov started enforcing mass migrations. The following year, in 1861, Tsar Alexander II completely rejected the peace conditions proposed by Circassian chiefs, refusing to withdraw imperial troops. This relentless push culminated on May 21, 1864, with the Battle of Kubata, which effectively marked the tragic end of the Circassian resistance.
The final standoff was, well, it was completely lopsided. You had the Circassian defenders, which were just about 20,000 local villagers and militia, actually including women fighting alongside them. They were going up against a staggering 100,000-strong Imperial Russian army, fully equipped with infantry, horsemen, and heavy artillery. The resistance was absolutely crushed, and the defeated survivors were immediately driven down to Sochi to await deportation.
Which brings us to Section 3, the Circassian Genocide.
To truly understand the sheer trauma of what happened next, we really need to look at the language itself. In the Uzbek dialect, there's a specific, haunting word for this exact event, tsitsikum. It translates to a massacre so evil that only Satan could think of it. That is exactly how the survivors describe the ethnic cleansing and mass murder of their people. It's a powerful linguistic anchor for this tragedy.
And this graphic brilliantly, though tragically, illustrates the staggering scale of that demographic erasure. By the end of the 1860s, an unbelievable 95 to 97% of the entire Circassian population was either killed or deported. Just 3 to 5% remained in their homeland. We are literally talking about the death and displacement of up to 1.5 million human beings.
The tactics used by the imperial forces to achieve this systemic erasure were incredibly brutal. According to historical documents and contemporary military reports, Russian soldiers systematically burned down villages and crops to induce mass starvation. There were mass killings, genocidal rape, unethical human experimentation on captives, and survivors were forced into grueling death marches straight to the freezing Black Sea coast.
This leads us right into Section 4, the Great Exodus.
This period of forced migration is known as muhajirism. It is recognized as a grave national tragedy that literally put the Abkhaz Circassian people at risk of total physical extinction. It's estimated that up to 500,000 people died from hunger, exposure, or drowning just during this horrific displacement.
And it's absolutely crucial to understand that this wasn't just a single, isolated event. It was a sustained, multi-year catastrophe. Early coerced migrations actually started around 1858, but following the fall of Kubata in May 1864, it escalated into massive, chaotic deportations to Ottoman ports, and this relentless exodus continued intensely all the way through 1867.
Now, what's really striking about this illustration is how it captures the chaotic reality on the ground. Hundreds of thousands of refugees were forced to flee their historical homeland. They were traveling with practically zero resources, pushing through incredibly harsh winter conditions toward the coast, desperately hoping to find some kind of safety across the water.
But once they finally reached the Black Sea shores, the nightmare wasn't over. They were packed onto heavily overloaded ships, and sadly, many of these vessels just sank in the open water. The Ottoman Empire simply wasn't prepared for a refugee crisis of this magnitude, which led to massive casualties from disease and exposure upon arrival at ports like Trabzon and Samsun.
To really humanize these macro statistics, listen to this eyewitness account from Russian historian Adolf Berja. He wrote, "I shall never forget the overwhelming impression made on me by the mountaineers in Novorossiysk Bay. The epidemic of typhus and smallpox raging among them made their situation desperate. It's just a chilling, first-hand reminder of the absolute suffering happening on those coasts.
Let's turn now to Section 5, Struggle for Identity. If you look at where the survivors ended up, you'll see they became widely dispersed across Anatolia and the broader Ottoman Empire. Because of this massive geographic displacement, laying the groundwork for a new cultural community was incredibly difficult. Today, the vast majority of people with Circassian descent live far, far outside their original borders.
But despite facing strict assimilation policies in their new environments, their resilience was absolutely remarkable. To preserve their culture, they often settled in closed, tight-knit communities. They maintained strict rules against mixed marriages for a long time. They united by forming charitable and educational societies, and they worked fiercely to preserve their historical moral codes, their folklore, and their unique Ubykh and Adere dialects so they wouldn't just fade into history.
And finally, Section 6, the fight for recognition. So the crucial point here is that this isn't just ancient history. It is a fierce, ongoing political effort today. The global diaspora continues to fight for official recognition. In December 2015, they petitioned countries like Romania and Moldova. There are massive annual commemorations every May 21st around the world. And in a huge modern milestone, on January 9, 2025, the Parliament of Ukraine officially recognized this mass extermination as a genocide. They are making sure the world remembers.
Which leaves us with a really profound question to think about. How exactly is historical memory preserved when a nation no longer exists on a map? It's a powerful reminder that the story of a people isn't just about the physical land they occupy. It lives on in their descendants, their language, and their absolute refusal to let the world forget. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll see you in the next one.